Hi everybody, it's Buck Grant here. I'm sitting off the coast of Bermuda, hanging out on my buddy Gary's boat. This is the middle of January. I know everybody back home is going through a little bit of a blizzard. Sorry guys, I'm not. But I want to talk to you guys about the difference between potential versus capacity. Coming off this weekend with Dominic Cruz having a tremendous fight against TJ Dillashaw. Both athletes have a lot of respect for. Both of them are extremely hard workers, and hard work is what I want to talk about. So there's a difference between the idea of potential and capacity. The word potential is used quite a bit in our society. We see someone who has a lot of talent and we say, oh, that guy has a ton of potential, right? Potential is basically what you're born with and what you could potentially be, what you could possibly be. Capacity is the work ethic that goes into it. And I think guys like Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw, for that matter, don't get enough credit for the amount of capacity that they have in their life. They have a tremendous capacity to work, and their work ethic is really what gets them where they are. I had the opportunity of training with Dominic Cruz years ago, and this is a guy that would go into the gym and train for 2 to 3 hours at a time. And then at the end of his practice, when he was completely tired, he would go up onto the side and he would do his footwork. The footwork that you always see that Dominic Cruz excels at, he would do when he was absolutely tired. He would do it when people who would normally just leave the gym and say, okay, 3 hours is enough, he would be doing the extra 30 minutes onto the side, right? And that's what makes a person a champion. That's what makes someone exceptional. My personal experience with that was going through my fight camps after a loss of mine. If you read my book, Over the Top Rope, you'll know that the one loss that I had in Muay Thai was against a guy named AJ James. And after that, I had to completely revamp my camp. And when I went back to my camp, I realized that by watching my footage, that I had no power behind my low kick, for example. And so after 3 hours of training, I would make sure that every day I would throw 100 low kicks on each side. So coming up, I never had the talent. I was a skinny, scrawny, sickly kid coming up, and I was never a born athlete, but I had the capacity to work, to go into the gym and grind it out and learn a craft and commit to one thing at a time. And so realizing that I didn't have the power that I needed in order to win a fight, I went in there and did 100 kicks a day after training when I was tired, when it really mattered. When I was under duress, that was the most important time for me to ingrain that skill. Just like a guy like Dominic Cruz, who would go in and practice footwork when he really didn't feel like it, but knew he had to, because that's when it was most important. And I noticed that a lot in just modern day society, that one of the things that keeps people from being really, really talented in this world is not their potential, because everyone has, in my opinion, limitless potential. It's their capacity. What is your capacity to work? If you want to be a champion in anything, whether it be your relationships, whether it be your job or your craft, your martial art, your skill, whatever that might be, what is your capacity to work? What are you willing to sacrifice, to put 100% of your effort into in order to make happen? If you look at a guy like Dominic Cruz, for example, he went through 3 ACL surgeries, a torn groin, 2 broken hands. 2. And in all of that, most people would have quit early on in facing any of that adversity, and yet he was still able to have the capacity to stay the course, to continue to work hard and work towards his dream. And as you saw this last weekend, he became the champion again, against a guy who is also a great athlete and a great worker. So my message to pass on to all of you is relish in your ability to have capacity. Pay no attention to what potential means, because we all have potential. Potential is something that we're all born with. Your capacity is what's going to allow you to reach your potential. Whatever you are capable of doing will be expressed through your ability to work hard, to express your capacity, and to step into your dreams by pushing yourself and reaching for the things that are right outside of your reach. So in closing, forget about your potential, focus on your capacity, focus on your ability to work hard. This is Buck Grant sounding off from Bermuda. Have a great one.